I'm so lonely. All the other Viltrumites are scared of me. I am a victim of my own success.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
Hey, before we start the video, I just want to say, yes, I know I'm late. This episode been out for a minute, and y'all are probably going to see this video like a week or two after, so my bad. Anyways, y'all, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we start off with Mark and Conquest clashing with each other like Goku and Broly, and we can see the connection from these punches at every building in the surrounding shattering. And Mark low-key holding his own until he gets headbutted straight into the concrete. Had my boy Mark looking defeated, and Conquest just starts talking crazy, saying how Invincible will be telling him about how great the Viltrumite Empire is and how he should just surrender, but he straight up does not care about all that and just wants to smoke. Mark ain't trying to hear none of that, so he uppercuts bro straight into the air and starts slamming this man into multiple buildings, taking down probably the whole city block. It must be hell living in this universe, because all the destruction gotta be severely costing people who pay tax. Conquest is not even fazed by all that contact, and he just gets straight back up and pulls Mark out the rubble. And this freaky ass nigga talking about, yes, I want more, Mark. But then Mark's like, get your freaky ass off me, and gives him a little two-piece. Mark then proceeds to combo this man up, giving him the 4-piece with extra fries and a drink. And he straight launches bro. He low-key was hitting the Injustice Superman animation. Anyways, he punches him all the way up into space. And this freaky frog proceeds to spit out his blood and uses it to make a heart. And just look at how this nigga is smiling.
This nigga is crazy.
Oh, nah. So then Conquest tackles Mark back into the earth, and he is just eating Mark's punches like it's nothing. He then hits Conquest with a mean knee to the stomach, knocking this nigga back. Mark's like, you still think you can beat me? And Conquest is like, of course. So then he charges at Mark and clocks him straight in the noggin, giving him level 12 CTE. We then see that this ass whooping is being broadcasted all over the news, and Debbie is seeing this like, no, my baby. Then Oliver goes to help, and Debbie tells Jit, just be careful and don't let him grab you. Mark is straight laid out. As he starts to wake up, he just starts coughing up blood, bro. Realizing exactly who he's dealing with.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Hey bro, ain't no way the impact alone created a shockwave of this magnitude. Like, my boy Mark is done for. And Oliver's trying to fly to save Mark as fast as he can, but this nigga cannot catch up to them because these boys is moving at the speed of light. My boy Mark is just getting yeeted into these skyscrapers, with him then crashing into the sidewalk and him tumbling into gasoline truck. Bro's just struggling to get up. I feel bad for him. We then see Conquest flying at full speed towards Mark. He looking like a Predator missile right now. And Mark just puts his hand up like, Mark then starts talking about some stop, we can talk about this. Bro is really trying to have a timeout mid-squabble. But Conquest is just like, get a load of this guy, and picks him up by the throat and slams him straight back into the ground. Conquest is just like, I ain't stopping no time soon, I'm having way too much fun. Then he's like, you just need the right motivation. And if Mark doesn't lock in, he's finna pack everyone on the planet up. And we see Oliver come swooping in with a mean right hook to save the day. And he is feeling cocky, so he blitzed towards Conquest, but ends up getting folded and dribbled like a basketball. He then picks Oliver up by the leg and is like, I want to know the name of who I'm going to be dismembering. Mark then comes and getting a clean kick on Conquest's head, but he just gets back up like it's nothing. And Mark is just begging Oliver to dip. And Conquest just menacingly starts walking up, eventually charging at full speed towards Mark. Conquest just begins talking the most shit while brutally just beating Mark. And look at how he's just palming Mark's head into the concrete, like damn. He then flings Mark's body into a car, trying to straight up blitz him. Mark then finally locks in and headbutts the shit out of this man. Mark just starts going crazy, landing a barrage of fists on this man, Conquest. And he just catches Mark's punch and is like, is that all you got? And by this point, this wasn't even a fight anymore. This was just pure brutality. And he was just getting straight up toyed around with. And Conquest is just talking about, oh, why did they even send him here? This is way too easy. So then he just starts using Mark as a skateboard and drags him all the way into this bus. He then starts going on about how he would love to see the look on Omni-Man's face after he told him that he killed Mark. And before he can land the next punch, Oliver comes in to save Mark again. And Oliver then proceeds to talk shit, saying this nigga's old as dirt and we can easily jump him. But then this diabolical ass nigga is like, thanks for coming back. I'm going to split you in half and eat your heart.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
So he blitzes towards Mark and pimp slaps him all the way into a building and gives my dog Oliver a nasty right hook. And my boy Oliver was going through it because as soon as he got up, he just started puking out his own blood, along with all his baby teeth. Unc then palms little bro by the head and lifts him up and starts trying to expand his body like a rubber band. And this next part is just disturbing because this man Conquest starts explaining how his muscles and organs are tearing as he is trying to pull little bro apart. And he is in absolute agony from the sheer amount of pain he's receiving. But Mark finally gets up to save Oliver from this psychotic ass. So then Conquest is like, you're faster than I thought. It comes to a full stop and palms Mark's head like a basketball. Then proceeds to give him the All Might punch. But Mark eats it and delivers a clean ass blow. But that ain't really do much because in the next frame we just see Mark getting skipped like a pebble across the ocean. He then proceeds to use this man Mark as a surfboard. And he just proceeds to grab Mark by the back of his neck. And I know that Mark is getting straight PTSD from what happened to him in season 1 of The Train. And Girly ain't even had any time to react. She got packed up in less than a nanosecond. He's ramming Mark at the speed of light into all these innocent civilians. He caused so many bodies, he's probably at a merciless by now. These people were just going about their day. Little did they know they were about to get packed up. Mark then gets flung into the air, but he recovers quickly and socks Conquest straight in his shit. And Eve finally pulls up and she's like, leave my man alone. Conquest is just like, I bet. So then he blitzes towards Eve, but Mark swiftly tackles him out the way. Conquest gets him off and proceeds to karate chop Mark's leg. Got his whole bone popping out. Eve comes back off the bench. She wraps his big ass bubble ball around Conquest, but he just thunderclaps that shit away. And he's just like, you got problems of your own, kitten. Mark peeps this, but he is way too hurt to even stand on his 2 feet. So we just gotta watch as his girl fights for him. And Eve is locked in because she uses her powers to make this dope ass Iron Man armor. Conquest sees this and he's just like cute and charges directly towards her. But then he soon realizes he can't move as Eve is using her powers to control the atoms around him. She then conjures up a mace and begins to whack this man around like a Conquest manages to stop the third attack. And she just starts forming wall after wall and Conquest is just breaking them all like eggshells. He does not care. She then starts using the matter around him to make a fishbowl around his head. Then clobbers bro with 2 giant spiked balls. She then proceeds to start hitting this man with axes, spears, walls. She's just trying to use whatever she can to slow this man down. Eve was really getting deep into her bag this entire fight. She then conjures up another giant spear to throw at this man. But by this point, Conquest has had enough. And he just blocks the attack and speed blitzes her leg. Punching her again, then grabbing her and headbutting her so hard her helmet breaks apart. And by this point, it's safe to say that Eve is, well, cooked. But hey, at least she put up a good fight. He rips off the last piece of armor, and at this point, she's just fully exposed. He then punches her so hard that the flesh on her face falls off, and he then uses his hand as a skewer to shish kebab her. Mark then sees this and goes over to catch and save his baby girl. And Mark is just over here sad as shit because his baby girl's on 1 HP. So he just starts screaming for Cecil to come and help. And he probably saw this like... And this weird ass nigga proceeds to lick her blood, and he's just like, is this strawberry flavor? Tasty. And this psychopath just begins to monologue to Mark about how he's having so much fun. And usually there's always parameters to the mission, but this time he could just do whatever he wants, and he had freedom to destroy whatever he wants. And then Mark proceeds to say the coldest line in animation history.
Future, you don't live to see tomorrow.
And then Conquest is just like, bet, do your worst, little nigga. And Mark just speed blitzes toward Conquest, smashing his Temu Infinity Gauntlet into pieces. And Mark's hand is just looking like meat off the bone. And the adrenaline rush is getting to this man because he proceeds to just beat the shit out of Conquest. But then Conquest just bear hugs this man. And he's like, just cause you mad, that don't make you strong. But Mark ain't having none of that, and he takes a big ass bite out of Conquest's shoulder. He flings Mark off. And these two just start clashing like they're in a... And the writers made Eve so overpowered because she proceeds to reconstruct her entire body, repairing everything. And Mark peeps this mid-fight, but Conquest uses this as an opening to grab Mark by the neck and get him in a chokehold, and proceeds to hear one of the best monologues in animation history. I played a little bit of it in the intro, but I can't play the full thing for copyright reasons. But to sum it up, he's talking about how he's so lonely and all the other Viltrumites are scared of him, and they send him from planet to planet to cause destruction. And as he gets better at it, they fear him more. And he's a victim of his own success. He doesn't even get a real name. I kind of feel bad for bro. But unfortunately, he's a psychopathic freak-ass nigga. So he just keeps proceeding to choke this man, Mark, bro. Telling him to take it to the grave. But Eve clutches up, blasting this man with Kamehameha. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough to put this Hulk of a man down. So this man Mark blitzes him in the head and proceeds to repeatedly pummel this man's foot. But he catches Mark's fist and breaks his hand. But Mark is on straight crash out timing, and he proceeds to rapidly headbutt this man, giving him level 10 CTE. Until all that's left of bro is this monstrosity. We then see Mark recovering in the hospital from that intense battle out in the field he just had. And he's just glad that Eve isn't dead. Cecil shows Mark Conquest's body, and Mark is just like, burn that shit. Cause he ain't trying to have a Menace to Society part 2. But this dumbass nigga Cecil decides to keep his body for questioning so that he can get information on the Viltrumite army. Cecil's side thinking he was smart, but this is not the game plan, brother. Because once this nigga Conquest breaks out, he's packing everybody up. And I don't care how heavy the metal is or how strong those explosives are. They are not stopping King Von Quest. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. I'ma catch y'all boys later, man. Peace.